Good morning. We are, it's now the morning of September 15th, 2014, and we are 65 hours into the ST8 Sundowner. We have one team and one solo competitor that's left on the board right now, and they're moving along. I don't know what that was there. So anyways, we are have been tracking CRG. They're down in the middle arena now. They have been working their way up from the south. And about 8 o'clock last night, we had a pretty large downpour of rain, and it rained pretty heavy here for about 15 minutes. So that saturated our roads down south. And if you've been spending time in the high desert terrain, when you get flash flooding like that, it takes a while for it to dissipate. So our roads are very slick in the flatlands and hard to get down. So we haven't had the opportunity to get evaluators down to the scenarios that CRG are right now have been hitting on the map. So we're going to make that up to them. Give them an opportunity to make that up anyways once they get up into the areas where we can move back. But we did have some flash flooding there, and kind of threw a wrench into things, and threw a wrench into both CRG's and Zeke's plan. We had the opportunity to visit with Zeke about 9 o'clock, a little bit afterwards. Because once that hit, both teams or both competitors were caught out in the open when that happened. And it was raining pretty hard. I don't think it hailed, but so we went up and did a health and welfare check on Zeke, and he was fine. I mean, he was taking care of himself, and he had found cover at that point, and he laid down for was planning on laying down anyways when we left him. So he it's just been so interesting with this trial to see how the weather has played such a big role in the outcome of the team's journey and just the overall trial as a whole. So we're at 4:25 a.m. right now. I need to refresh my page and see where CRG is. They're moving, and they're really, all throughout have been very strong. And yeah, they've even moved further since I last checked them. They're almost to Highway 64, and they'll cross over, and more than likely they're going to head up to our shooting scenario. That is number 4, which is our Guardian shooting scenario, and that's our only vehicular situation out here. We've only had one competitor hit that so far, and that was Unagi, and that was one of the very first scenarios hit. We were actually planning at that time for a good half of the 24-hour race to hit that, and the other half to hit the MS-13, shooting scenario number 3, in the initial kickoff of the race, just because of the proximity. But we had almost 100% of the field of the 24-hour race go towards MS-13, going up to the canyon, which means that a lot of the routes were planned out on the way, more of a circular route for that particular arena. So that was kind of interesting. So it'll be kind of neat. We'll see how quickly CRG is moving here. We're coming up on just 4:30, just about, just a little bit over 6 hours left in this arena of this very long time frame. So we'll see which direction they're going to head. That's one of their last that they would have to have hit. 2 that they missed coming up, the Parent Trap and Warehouse Robbery, and Barrel Rider, which is a little bit further west on the water, and then the Guardian scenario that it appears that they're heading to now. So once they step up and get past the highway, it'll be a little more easier going, and we'll have the ability to interact with them and go. They were watered beforehand, before they crossed into the area that was really affected by the flash flooding. The way a lot of the storms work here in the high desert, I mean, it's just like swaths. You can sit and just watch the storms go across, and there'll be like areas that'll just be saturated with water or hail or whatever that is, and then next to it it's like this, it'll be dry and nothing had touched that before. It's just one of the unique things with the desert. We went down about a half hour, 40 minutes ago, after CRG had reached the warehouse, just to check the roads again, and all the access points into both Parent Trap and the warehouse they're still pretty well blocked for us. We get down there, we get a couple vehicles stuck, and then there's nothing that we can do. So we have to just kind of hover around, and we'll present them with additional opportunities once they move past those no-go areas, and try to make up for lost potential, lost points. Zeke, everybody here is pulling for both the competitors, CRG and Zeke, and we're really pulling for Zeke because he's looking very strong. He's 54 years old, and he is extremely fit and extremely driven. Very, very smart, very driven individual. It's been just wonderful to watch him move throughout here, and I had the opportunity to visit with him about 5 o'clock before the storms hit, and just to watch him. I posted a picture on Instagram and the Survival Trial Facebook page of him walking into the storm. So he walked head first right into it. He got caught out in the open and he sustained himself, and now he's moving up Willow Canyon to his task number 1 reward, where he would have to reclaim a totem. The totem is on top of a windmill. There's a water point for its woodland livestock, and now it's just game basically. There's a windmill out there, and that totem is on the top of the windmill. And we talked about the last live update, but things are a little bit different now. It had taken him just about 11 hours now to get up there, and the movement's not very long, but at 60 plus hours, that's long. And he's 64 miles right now on foot, and his loadout is the same as everybody else's, but he had a Kafaru created a pack for him that was built specifically for the survival trial. He had a real lightweight rifle made to come and compete. So he's very prepared to come out here to reduce his weight to ensure his longevity, for his endurance, for his movements. So that was very, very smart. But it still takes its toll. You're tired. He had told us that he had fallen asleep walking and ended up on the ground. That was yesterday. And if you've ever done races like this and been in maybe professions that have forced you to do things like this, you can understand that, because that's happened to me before, and that's part of it. But it's not fun because you don't have any control of yourself when you're falling like that. So he had hurt his wrist or hurt his hand. I think he just landed on it, and he's still fine. He can still manipulate his firearm and do all the other stuff with it. But it's just another piece into that overall things that will affect the well-being, both mentally and physically, throughout these last very crucial hours, especially hours of darkness. It's going to be coming up here in about 2 hours, as long as get our cloud cover out. But it's still a very lonely time, especially to be a solo. So his plan is to do that. He's going to go up and try to get the golden basket, and then head up to the Evolve scenario. So we'll see how. We're just going to be watching him real closely, and we're rooting for both CRG and Zeke. This has been quite an epic event so far, and had the opportunity to see some very inspiring things out here. So we saw both our 48-hour competitors standing tall at the end, and now we're looking for our 72-hour competitors to be doing the same. So, all right, I'm going to cut this here, 4:32, and September 15th, 2014. We're in the last hours of the ST8 Sundowner. Again, we want to say thank you to our sponsors for this event. Hornady is one of our guardian sponsors. They have a stage, which are our barrel rider stage, and they had Team Hornady that was competing throughout the entire race itself, and did a great job out here. And this is actually Team Hornady's third trial event, so it was real neat to watch them. It's great to have them back again. They're just very, very nice, very smart competitors, very driven, strong, great shooters. That was we watched them, and they ran barrel rider. Their event, that was their last one they did, and shot exceptionally well. And then when they crossed the lake with the Jake, they by far put the most thought into it in a way that we want competitors to do. You know, we want competitors to think outside the box. So we'll get some video up around that particular scenario. But we're going to try to hopefully see, at least barrel rider hit one more time before we're done here with CRG. So again, thank you to Hornady for sponsoring that stage. We also want to thank our official apparel for survival trials, STVIII Design, and been very very helpful to us. That's what I've been wearing the whole time out here. We've had just a huge up and downs with weather out here, and the clothing is very important. And as a competitor especially, it's crucial. But out here we're still stuck. We're standing around as the evaluators and waiting in some cases for hours and in the elements. But STVIII Design, high quality, 100% American made, and we're very proud of that fact and to be affiliated with them. So STVIIIdesign.com. We also want to thank MyTopo for the maps. Again, can't do anything without MyTopo. There wouldn't be anything. We wouldn't be able to have such great land navigation out here. For these teams, especially at night, Zeke and CRG, very impressive night land navigation skills. So big portion of that is the maps. So big thank you to MyTopo. Track leaders, they are providing the map that we're tracking everybody on, the apps that we can track on our mobile devices. We look forward to fleshing that out a little bit more and make our maps a little more interactive. But it's just fantastic. It's trackleaders.com if you have an event like this. We highly recommend them. We also want to thank this last but exception not least, it's the Theodore Whittington Center, our Vanguard site sponsor, and the heart. They are the home of the survival trial. Yeah, this is such a beautiful place just to come and to get away from. As a vacation, in my opinion, is one of the number one vacation destinations in the country. There's a lot of places you can go out there that have these things to do, but when you're outside with the family or friends and want to get away, and even if you're not a firearms enthusiast, just to come here and to be part of the beauty and the history of the area. Whittington Center has food services on site. They have housing on site that's, bar none, it's some of the best in a terrain like this. We wake up in the morning, you get to see some of the most beautiful sunrises, the animals that are here. I mean, that's really one of the things that really strike people, is how easygoing the animals are here, the wildlife are. I mean, you can drive right past the antelope, the deer, you see elk, in the mornings and evenings. There's things here that you don't necessarily get to see on a daily basis in different parts of the country. So look at if you're planning a family trip, or even like a corporate getaway, this is a very, very good place to do that. It's some place where you can actually step away from things and get away and enjoy your time, and recharge. So NRAWC.org, the NRA Whittington Center, in their 40 years, had to celebrate the 40th anniversary last year. So very well established, very well maintained and run. So, all right, it's 4:38 right now. and we're gonna do another check here. Once the sun comes up, we'll head down and catch CRG once they cross the road, give them water, and we will make our moves to catch up with Zeke. He's also in a very waterlogged area, so we'll have to kind of change up how we're going to get out to him, but we'll do our health and welfare with him and check him out and get him water, and we'll be back in a few hours and do another update and let you know how the arena is shaping up for the final hours of the ST8 Sundowner. So I'll talk to you then.